In the heart of the bustling city, where skyscrapers towered like silent witnesses to human ambition, Logan Carmichael strode down the crowded sidewalk. The mid-afternoon sun blazed mercilessly, but it seemed powerless against his polished demeanor. His sharp navy suit, tailored to perfection, and the gleaming wristwatch were unmistakable emblems of a man who had conquered his world. At 47, Logan's streaks of silver hair and piercing blue eyes carried the weight of a reputation built on ruthless decisions and unrelenting ambition. People didn't just move aside for him. They avoided his gaze altogether, unwilling to cross a man who had built his empire by quashing anyone in his path. He was checking his phone, scrolling through financial reports, when a sudden jostle snapped his attention back to the street. At first, he thought little of it. The sidewalks were packed with people rushing in all directions. But when he instinctively reached for his wallet, his expression darkened. It was gone. Spinning around, Logan's eyes darted through the crowd like a hawk searching for prey. Then he saw her, a small figure weaving swiftly between the pedestrians. Her worn clothes and bare feet were at odds with the shiny, modern world around her. She clutched something close to her chest, her movements quick and desperate. "Stop!" Logan's voice thundered above the city's hum, freezing those nearby. Heads turned as he pointed toward the retreating figure. "You! Stop right there!" The girl didn't stop. She moved faster, dodging between carts and people like a wild animal cornered. Her petite frame disappeared into the flow of the crowd, leaving Logan furious and humiliated. A child, a mere child, had dared to steal from him. His jaw tightened, his gaze narrowing with determination. For most people, this would have been an inconvenience, a shrug of the shoulders before moving on. But for Logan, this wasn't just about a stolen wallet, but about pride. No one crossed him, not even a street urchin. He took off after her without hesitation, his long strides steady and relentless. As he pursued the girl more profoundly into the maze of alleys, Logan's tailored shoes crushed fallen goods, overturned boxes, and spilled wares, drawing sharp curses from street vendors. But he didn't care. His focus was singular, to catch her. "You can run," he muttered, his tone as sharp as a blade, "but you can't hide." The chase continued, leading them into narrower, dimmer streets. Each step Logan took seemed to echo louder in the quiet alleys, where the chaos of the city softened into the shadows of neglect. He noticed the girl faltering. Her movements were less fluid, and her breathing was more labored. The uneven rhythm of her footsteps betrayed her exhaustion. And yet, her determination amazed him. She glanced back, her wide, frightened eyes locking briefly with his before darting forward again. Logan couldn't help but smirk, half in amusement, half in disdain. "She's quick. I'll give her that," he muttered. But his smirk faded as her desperation became evident. He caught glimpses of her clutching his wallet like a lifeline. Her frail frame, her hollowed cheeks. These details registered in his mind like faint whispers, trying to tell him something he wasn't ready to hear. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, Logan knew the chase was nearing its end. The girl hesitated at a fork in the road, her petite figure trembling with indecision. Her exhaustion made her misstep. Her frail legs stumbled over a crack in the pavement, sending her sprawling to the ground. Logan slowed his pace, savoring his victory. The predator had caught his prey. He stood over her, his shadow long and imposing in the golden light. "Did you think you could outrun me?" he asked, his voice low but cutting. The girl clutched the wallet tighter to her chest, her dirt-streaked face lifting to meet his. Tears mixed with sweat, her trembling lips moving soundlessly for a moment before she finally whispered, "Please, I didn't want to." Logan's expression hardened. "Then why did you?" For the first time, he saw her not as a thief but as a terrified child. Something inside him shifted slightly, but enough to make him pause. The girl's trembling hands tightened around the stolen wallet, her knuckles white against her dirt-smeared skin. Logan's imposing figure loomed over her, his piercing gaze unrelenting. For a moment, silence filled the narrow alleyway, broken only by the distant hum of the city. "Give it back," Logan commanded, his voice cold and resolute as he extended his hand toward her. The girl hesitated, her wide, tear-filled eyes darting between Logan's face and the wallet. She clutched it closer to her chest as though letting it go would strip her of something far more valuable than money. "Please," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "It's not what you think." Logan's patience snapped. He bent down swiftly, grabbing her wrist with just enough force to make her gasp. "Not what I think," he hissed. "You stole from me, and now you want sympathy? Hand it over." Her eyes welled with fresh tears as she finally let go, the wallet slipping into his hands. Logan opened it with the precision of someone who left nothing to chance. His cash was untouched, his cards intact. But then he noticed something odd. A crumpled photograph that didn't belong to him was folded neatly alongside his documents. He pulled it out, frowning as he examined it. The picture was old and faded, depicting a woman in her 20s holding a baby. Both smiled warmly at the camera, the woman's gentle features resembling the girl before him. "What's this?" Logan demanded, holding up the photo. The girl's tears spilled over, her small frame trembling. "It's my mother," she choked out, her voice breaking. "She's gone now." Logan froze, the intensity of her words hitting him like a wave. He wanted to brush it off, to dismiss her story as just another excuse. But her tone, raw, unfiltered pain, made him hesitate. "Why did you take my wallet, then?" he asked, his voice softening despite himself. She sniffled, wiping her nose with the back of her hand. "I saw you drop it. I didn't mean to steal it, but," she hesitated, the weight of her confession dragging her words. "I needed money. My little brother. He's sick, and I can't afford the medicine. I thought." Her voice cracked, and she looked down, unable to meet his eyes. Logan felt his chest tighten. He wanted to be angry, to lecture her about right and wrong, but her words lingered in the air, heavy with desperation. A flicker of guilt stirred within him for the first time in years. "What's your name?" he asked, his tone unusually gentle. "Sophia," she whispered. Sophia's name lingered in Logan's mind as he straightened up, his thoughts a whirlwind. He glanced at the girl's frail form, her hollow cheeks and oversized clothes a testament to her struggle. A part of him wanted to walk away, wallet in hand, and leave this moment behind as nothing more than an unfortunate encounter. After all, he wasn't responsible for her life. And yet, something about her reminded him of a past he had long buried, a past he preferred to ignore. "Where's your brother?" he asked abruptly. Sophia's head shot up, her teary eyes wide with surprise. "He's at home," she said hesitantly. "I didn't want to leave him, but I had no choice. He's too weak to come with me." Logan let out a slow breath, pinching the bridge of his nose. This wasn't his problem. He was a businessman, not a charity worker. But something about Sophia's vulnerability struck a nerve he hadn't felt in years. "Take me to him," he said finally. Sophia blinked, unsure if she had heard him correctly. "You want to see him?" Logan nodded curtly, already stepping back toward the main street. "Yes. Let's go before I change my mind." Sophia hesitated, her instincts warning her against trusting a stranger, especially one who had chased her down with such fury. But she had no other options. If there was even a chance he could help, she had to take it. The walk to her home was long and silent, the stark contrast between Logan's tailored suit and Sophia's threadbare clothes attracting curious stares from passers-by. As they entered a run-down apartment building, the stench of mildew and decay assaulted Logan's senses. The narrow hallway was dimly lit, with peeling paint and broken tiles underfoot. Sophia stopped before a door barely hanging on its hinges and pushed it open. Inside, the room was no more significant than Logan's office closet, furnished with a single mattress and a makeshift table. A boy no older than 6 lay on the mattress, his thin body wrapped in a tattered blanket. His chest rose and fell with shallow breaths, and his sunken eyes opened weakly at the sound of their arrival. "Liam," Sophia said softly, rushing to his side. "I'm back. I brought someone who might help." Logan stood at the doorway, taking in the scene. His gaze lingered on Liam's frail form, his mind racing. He could see the desperation in Sophia's every move, the way she touched her brother's forehead, the worry etched into her young face. For a man who prided himself on logic and self-reliance, Logan found himself facing an unfamiliar battle within. He had spent his life climbing the ladder of success, leaving behind anything or anyone that didn't serve his purpose. Yet, he was standing in a crumbling apartment, his heart wrestling with a decision he couldn't rationalize. He cleared his throat, breaking the heavy silence. What does he need? Sophia looked up, her face a mix of hope and hesitation. The doctor said he needs antibiotics and proper food. But I can't afford it. I've been trying, but her voice trailed off, the weight of her failure crushing her. Logan sighed deeply, reaching into his wallet. He pulled out several crisp bills and placed them on the table. This will cover the medicine and some food, he said firmly. Sophia stared at the money, her hands trembling. Why are you helping us? She asked, her voice thick with emotion. Logan paused, his gaze shifting between the siblings. I don't know, he admitted honestly, but I'll figure it out later. For the first time, Sophia smiled, a small, hesitant smile that held a glimmer of gratitude. Logan turned away, his jaw tightening. He wasn't a savior. He wasn't a hero. But for now, he had made a choice. The following morning, Logan stood outside the rundown apartment building, his sleek black car an unusual sight in the impoverished neighborhood. He had barely slept, haunted by the image of Liam's frail body and Sophia's desperate determination. He wasn't sure why he had come back. A man like him had no business being here. Yet, here he was. Sophia appeared at the doorway, clutching a brown paper bag. Her expression was wary, but there was a flicker of surprise when she saw Logan. You're back, she said cautiously. I said I'd help, Logan replied gruffly, gesturing toward the car. Get in. We're taking your brother to the hospital. Sophia hesitated, glancing nervously back at Liam, sitting on the mattress, his breathing labored. I don't know if that's a good idea, she murmured. We don't have insurance. They'll just turn us away. Logan's jaw tightened. That's my problem to solve. Trust me, they won't turn him away. Sophia studied him for a moment, then nodded. She wrapped Liam in a blanket and carefully carried him to the car. Logan opened the door, watching as she gently placed her brother inside before climbing herself. The drive to the hospital was silent, save for the soft hum of the engine. Sophia kept glancing at Logan as if trying to understand why a stranger, a man she had tried to steal from, would go to such lengths for them. At the hospital, Logan's influence was immediately apparent. The staff, who initially hesitated at the sight of Sophia's ragged clothes and Liam's deteriorating condition, snapped into action when Logan made a single phone call. Within minutes, Liam was admitted, and a doctor began assessing him. Sophia stood in the corner of the room, clutching her hands tightly. Logan noticed how she held herself, like someone who expected the world to collapse at any moment. He's in good hands, Logan said, his voice softer than before. Sophia nodded but said nothing. As the doctor explained Liam's condition, a severe respiratory infection compounded by malnutrition, Logan felt a pang of guilt. He had spent his life chasing wealth and power, oblivious to the struggles of people like Sophia and Liam. Will he be okay? Sophia asked, her voice trembling. With proper treatment, yes, the doctor assured her. Logan placed a hand on her shoulder. We'll ensure he gets everything he needs, he said firmly. As Liam's treatment began, Logan was drawn into Sophia's world. Over the next few days, he saw more of her life than anticipated. Each visit to the hospital brought new insights, each conversation peeling back another layer of her story. One evening, as they sat in the hospital's waiting room, Sophia opened up about her past. My mom used to work at a diner, she began, her voice soft. She was the strongest person I knew. She always cared for Liam and me, no matter how tough things got. But when she got sick, Sophia paused, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. We lost everything. The bills piled up. She couldn't work anymore. And after she passed, it was just me and Liam. I dropped out of school to take care of him. Logan listened silently, his heart heavy. He had grown up in privilege, shielded from the harsh realities of life. Hearing Sophia's story was like stepping into a world he had never truly understood. What about your father? He asked gently. Sophia shook her head. He left before Liam was born. We've been on our own ever since. Logan leaned back in his chair, his mind racing. He thought of his childhood, his father's relentless drive for success, his mother's distant warmth. He had always believed that money solved everything. But Sophia's story proved otherwise. "You're stronger than most people I know," Logan said. Sophia looked at him, startled. "Me? Strong?" He nodded. "You've been through hell, and you're still standing. That takes strength." For the first time, Sophia smiled, a genuine, albeit small, smile. "Thank you," she whispered. As the days passed, Logan began to see changes in himself. He spent less time in his office, delegating tasks to his team while he focused on helping Sophia and Liam. He wasn't sure what was driving him. A sense of guilt, perhaps, or the desire to make amends for years of selfishness. As they returned to the apartment one evening, Sophia hesitated at the door. "Logan," she said, her voice uncertain. "Yeah. I don't know why you're doing all this," she admitted. "But thank you for everything." Logan met her gaze, his expression unreadable. "Let's just say I've got a lot to make up for," he replied. Liam was resting peacefully, his color returning as the treatment took effect. Logan watched the siblings interact, a strange warmth spreading through him. For the first time in years, he felt something he hadn't expected: purpose. The days turned into weeks as Liam's condition steadily improved under the hospital's care. Logan became a fixture in Sophia and Liam's lives, though he still struggled to understand why. The once impenetrable businessman now spent his mornings bringing breakfast to the hospital room and his evenings helping Sophia manage bills and navigate a world of bureaucracy from which she had long been excluded. Initially wary of Logan's motives, Sophia began to see another side of him, one far removed from the cold, calculating persona she had encountered in the diner. One evening, as Liam slept, Sophia and Logan sat in the hospital cafeteria. The soft hum of fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, and the aroma of coffee lingered in the air. "You're not who I thought you were," Sophia said, breaking the silence. Logan raised an eyebrow. "And who did you think I was?" "Someone who only cared about money. Someone who wouldn't even notice people like me and Liam." Her tone wasn't accusatory, just honest. Logan leaned back in his chair, his expression thoughtful. "You're not wrong. I've spent most of my life chasing success, thinking it was the only thing that mattered. But meeting you and Liam, it's made me question a lot of things." Sophia studied him, her guarded demeanor softening. "Why us? Why now?" Logan hesitated, his eyes distant. "Maybe it's guilt. Or maybe it's realizing how much I've missed. I've been surrounded by people my whole life, but never really connected with anyone. You and Liam, your bond, your resilience. It's something I've never had." Sophia smiled faintly. "Well, if it's guilt, it's the most generous guilt I've ever seen." They shared a laugh, a rare moment of levity amidst their challenges. As they finished their conversation, Sophia grew quiet, her fingers tracing the rim of her coffee cup. "You've done so much for us," she said softly. "I don't know how I'll ever repay you." "You don't have to," Logan replied. "Just focus on Liam. That's all that matters." Sophia nodded, but in her heart, she resolved to find a way to pay him back, not with money, but with something far more meaningful. With Liam's health improving, Logan focused on another problem: Sophia's dire living situation. He couldn't bear the thought of them returning to that cramped, dilapidated apartment. So, one evening, he brought up the idea as they walked back to the hospital after a brief outing. "Sophia, I've been thinking," Logan began, his tone measured. "You and Liam need a better place to live." Sophia stopped in her tracks, her eyes narrowing. "Logan, I appreciate everything you've done but can't accept charity. We've made it this far on our own." "It's not charity," Logan insisted. "It's an investment in Liam's future and yours. You can't keep struggling like this, Sophia. Let me help." Sophia crossed her arms, her resolve firm. "You've done more than enough. I won't let you uproot your life for us." Logan sighed, running a hand through his hair. "This isn't just about you, Sophia. It's about Liam. He deserves a chance to grow up somewhere safe, somewhere he can thrive." Sophia looked away, her expression conflicted. She knew he was right, but accepting help felt like admitting defeat. "Let me show you something," Logan said, pulling out his phone. He opened an image of a modest, well-kept house on a quiet street. This place is in a good neighborhood, close to schools and parks. It's not extravagant, but it's safe. I want you and Liam to have it. Sophia stared at the photo, her emotions a whirlwind. Why are you doing this? She whispered. Logan's gaze softened. Because I can. And because you and Liam deserve better. Tears welled up in Sophia's eyes, but she blinked them away. I'll think about it, she said finally. Over the next few days, Sophia weighed Logan's offer. She spoke with Liam, who was overjoyed at the idea of a real home. Eventually, Sophia relented, agreeing to move into the house on the condition that she would contribute to the expenses once she found steady work. The day they moved in was bittersweet. Sophia marveled at the space as they unpacked their few belongings, the light streaming through the windows and Liam's laughter echoing through the halls. For Logan, it was a moment of quiet satisfaction. Watching Sophia and Liam settle into their new home filled a void he hadn't realized existed. As they sat on the porch that evening, Sophia turned to Logan. You've changed our lives, she said. Logan shook his head. No, Sophia. You've changed mine. Sophia had never asked much about Logan's life before their meeting. To her, he was a mystery wrapped in tailored suits and a businessman's exterior. But as the weeks turned into months, she saw glimpses of the man he once was and what he had lost along the way. One evening, as they sat in the living room of Sophia's new home, Liam played quietly on the nearby carpet. Sophia noticed Logan staring out the window. His face held a distant, pained expression as though he was replaying a memory he couldn't escape. She placed a cup of tea before him and hesitated before asking, Logan, can I ask you something? He turned, his features softening. Of course. What made you like this? She asked gently. So determined to help, yet so closed off? Logan smiled faintly, though the sadness in his eyes lingered. That's a long story, he said, leaning back. But I suppose you deserve to know. He took a deep breath and began. I wasn't always the person you met at the diner. There was a time when I cared about more than profits and spreadsheets. My family wasn't wealthy. We were just getting by. My mother worked long hours as a teacher, and my father was a mechanic. They taught me the value of hard work and helping others. But then I lost them, both of them, in a car accident when I was 20. It was like the ground was ripped out from under me. Sophia listened intently, her heart aching for him. I'm so sorry, she murmured. Logan nodded, his gaze distant. After that, I threw myself into work. I thought it would fill the void if I could build something big enough, successful enough. But all it did was make me lonelier. I surrounded myself with people who wanted something from me. Money, connections, but none mattered. And then, I met you and Liam. Sophia's eyes widened. We're just two people trying to get by, Logan. We're nothing special. Logan shook his head. You're wrong. Watching you fight for Liam and seeing the love and strength you carry reminded me of my parents and what matters. You and Liam are special, Sophia. You've given me a reason to care again. The room fell silent except for Liam's quiet humming as he played. Sophia reached out, placing her hand over Logan's. Thank you for telling me, she said softly, and for everything you've done for us. The days began to feel lighter for Sophia and Liam. Liam's health improved, and the house started to feel like a home. Sophia found a job at a local community center, where her compassion and drive made her a favorite among co-workers and clients. She was determined to repay Logan for his financial support and belief in her. One afternoon, Sophia received an unexpected call from Liam's doctor. She listened intently, her face lighting up with joy. Thank you, she said, her voice trembling as she hung up. She turned to Logan, who had just walked in. What is it? Logan asked, concerned. It's Liam, Sophia said, her voice shaking. The treatment worked. He's in remission. Logan's relief was palpable, a broad smile breaking across his face. That's incredible, Sophia. Sophia nodded, tears streaming down her cheeks. She knelt to hug Liam, who was beaming with the innocence of a child unaware of the magnitude of his victory. To celebrate, Logan suggested a trip to the nearby countryside. It was the first time Sophia and Liam had experienced anything resembling a vacation in years. They spent the day exploring open fields, picnicking by a lake, and marveling at the beauty around them. As the sun set, Liam ran ahead, chasing fireflies in the golden light. Logan and Sophia sat on a blanket, watching him with quiet smiles. "Thank you for this," Sophia said, breaking the silence. "I haven't seen him this happy in so long." Logan glanced at her, his expression serious. "You deserve happiness too, Sophia." She hesitated, unsure how to respond. But before she could find the words, Liam called out, his voice full of wonder. "Look, Mom, a rainbow." They turned to see a vibrant arc stretching across the sky, a perfect symbol of the hope and new beginnings they had found together. Months passed, and life began to take on a sense of normalcy for Sophia and Liam. The challenges of the past felt like a distant memory, though Sophia often reflected on how much Logan had done for them. She had resumed her studies part-time while working at the community center, slowly rebuilding the life she had once dreamed of. One crisp autumn evening, Logan invited Sophia and Liam to dinner at a small, elegant restaurant on the outskirts of town. Sophia hesitated initially, unsure why he had chosen such a formal venue, but Logan reassured her it was simply to celebrate Liam's continued good health. The restaurant, a charming place adorned with twinkling fairy lights, felt magical to Sophia and Liam. As they dined, Liam's laughter filled the air, his childlike wonder bringing a lightheartedness to the evening. After dessert, Logan excused himself briefly, leaving Sophia and Liam at the table. When he returned, the lights in the restaurant dimmed slightly, and a soft melody began to play. Logan approached Sophia, holding a small velvet box in his hand. Sophia's heart raced as she realized what was happening. "Sophia," Logan began, his voice steady yet filled with emotion. "Meeting you and Liam changed my life in ways I never thought possible. You reminded me of what it means to love, care, and find joy in the little things. I want to spend the rest of my life making sure you and Liam never face those dark days again." He knelt on one knee, opening the box to reveal a delicate diamond ring. "Will you marry me?" Sophia was stunned, tears welling up in her eyes. She looked at Liam, who was grinning from ear to ear, clearly excited by the moment. "Yes," she finally whispered, her voice trembling. "Yes, Logan, I will." The restaurant erupted in applause, and Liam ran over to hug Logan. The three of them shared an emotional embrace, solidifying the bond they had built together. Sophia felt that her life was complete for the first time in years. The wedding was a small but beautiful ceremony held in Logan's garden, surrounded by close friends and a few of Sophia's co-workers from the community center. The garden, meticulously decorated with white roses and soft lights, reflected the simplicity and elegance that defined Sophia and Logan's relationship. Liam played a unique role in the wedding, proudly carrying the rings down the aisle. His beaming smile captured the hearts of everyone present. For Logan, seeing Sophia walk toward him, radiant in her gown, was a moment he would never forget. After the ceremony, the guests gathered under a large tent for a reception filled with laughter, music, and heartfelt speeches. Logan's best man, an old friend named Ethan, shared stories of Logan's determination and kindness. In contrast, Sophia's closest friend from the community center spoke about her resilience and unwavering love for Liam. As the evening drew close, Sophia and Logan shared their first dance as husband and wife. Liam watched from the sidelines, clapping enthusiastically and occasionally attempting his dance moves. The joy and warmth of the evening felt like the perfect culmination of their journey. But as the days after the wedding unfolded, Logan and Sophia began planning their future in earnest. They decided to start a foundation aimed at helping single parents and children in need, inspired by their own experiences. Together, they wanted to give others the same hope and second chances they had found. The foundation quickly gained traction, with Logan leveraging his business expertise and connections while Sophia provided the heart and vision. Ever the enthusiastic helper, Liam became the face of their first campaign, his story touching donors' hearts far and wide. Through their work, Logan and Sophia not only helped others, but also deepened their connection. Every challenge they faced as a couple strengthened their bond, reminding them of the love and resilience that had brought them together in the first place. Months after their wedding, Logan and Sophia poured their energy into establishing the Liam's Light Foundation, named after the boy who had inspired their journey. The foundation aimed to support single parents, underprivileged children, and those navigating life's toughest challenges. Logan's business acumen helped structure the foundation effectively, while Sophia's first-hand experience brought a compassionate, personal touch to their mission. Their first major project was a scholarship program for single parents looking to further their education. Sophia remembered her struggles to balance work, motherhood, and schooling. The scholarships were designed to ease this burden and give parents a chance to secure brighter futures for their families. One of the foundation's beneficiaries, Maria, a single mother of two, stood up during an event to share her story. She spoke about how the scholarship allowed her to complete her nursing degree and provide a better life for her children. Her gratitude moved everyone in the room to tears, especially Sophia, who saw in Maria a reflection of her struggles. Meanwhile, Logan expanded the foundation's reach by networking with influential philanthropists and corporations. His passion and charisma made securing partnerships easy, bringing significant funding and resources to their cause. Yet, Logan never lost sight of their mission: to keep the foundation grounded in empathy and real-life impact. Liam, now thriving in school, became the foundation's unofficial ambassador. At events, he often shared his story, his bright smile and innocent perspective touching donors' hearts. Logan and Sophia felt immense pride watching Liam grow, knowing their hard work created a ripple effect beyond their family. The foundation's success also deepened Logan and Sophia's bond. They spent long evenings brainstorming new initiatives, reflecting on their past, and dreaming of the future. Every new success reaffirmed their shared purpose and love for one another. One evening, as Logan and Sophia were wrapping up a meeting at the foundation's headquarters, Liam burst into the room holding a drawing he had made. It was a picture of their family, Logan, Sophia, and himself, standing in front of the foundation building, surrounded by smiling faces of children and parents. "Look," Liam exclaimed. "This is what we do, right? We help people smile again." Sophia hugged Liam tightly, tears welling up in her eyes. "That's exactly what we do, sweetheart. And you're a big part of it." Logan felt a profound sense of fulfillment as he looked at the drawing. Having been driven solely by financial success, this life had a deeper meaning. He had built a family and left a legacy that would continue transforming lives for generations. Months later, the foundation launched a community center in the city's heart, offering free childcare, job training, and mental health support. Sophia and Logan stood on stage at the grand opening, addressing a crowd of hundreds. "This isn't just a foundation," Sophia said, her voice filled with emotion. "It's a promise that no one has to face life's challenges alone. Every parent, every child, deserves a chance to shine, just like Liam inspired us to shine." The crowd applauded as Logan stepped forward, placing an arm around Sophia and Liam. "This is just the beginning," he added with a smile. "Together, we'll create a future filled with hope and opportunity." As they left the stage, Logan turned to Sophia and whispered, "We've come so far, but the best is yet to come." Sophia smiled, her heart full. She knew their journey hadn't been easy, but every challenge had brought them to this moment, a life filled with love, purpose, and the joy of giving back. With Liam by their side, they were ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing they would face it together.